All right. So there's some kind of holdup happening. I'm feeling it. Some kind of holdup, Spirit, I swear. I'm feeling it. Okay, let's see what kind of holdup we got going on in your energy collective. Collective. I'm hearing that Britney Spears song in my head. Lucky. Isn't she lucky? This Hollywood star. That's like literally how she sounds. Well, not identical, but you get it. She's so lucky, she's a star. But she cries, and with her lonely heart thinking. Something about lucky. That also could be someone's nickname, Lucky. The reason why I say that is because, so I get like little, let's say like visuals, like little images, like picture images that will pop up in my head. The reason why, obviously the song Lucky, it has that lyric in it, but the reason what the image that popped up in my head was a picture of my stepbrother's cousin, Lucky. And so that reaffirmed that that name could potentially be a nickname for somebody, or like I'm talking about a person. Maybe you've been told you were lucky your whole life. Okay, what energy do we have here?
Kitchen.
The kitchen? Someone could be whipping something up in the kitchen. They could be a chef. You could be in the culinary arts. I'm seeing, you know how Southern food is like a combination of baking and cooking? Like it kind of just like melds all the realms of cooking together. I'm seeing Southern cooking, like I'm seeing someone making biscuits, like with, like, you know, on the countertop. So in the South, you know, a traditional home might have, they prefer certain types of countertops because they're actually going to knead the dough directly on from. Oh my God, sorry, that was my mom. We were cracking up. We're talking about going for a walk. Because I have a rare, well, it's rare. I think it's not that it's rare, it's just that it's improperly diagnosed. So there's so many people being misdiagnosed, but it's called mast cell disease. And I also have a connective tissue disease called hypermobility spectrum disorder. You can look both of those up. But anyway, so we were talking about going for a walk. Oh, wow. What card do we have? Leaving? Okay. Fame and renown on the bottom, which is the angel. I don't know how to say this angel's name. So, I'm sorry, but some of these angelic names are just like trippy. Okay. Elelia? Eal? Eel? I don't know. Here, let me show it to you. So sorry. I-E. I-E-I-A-E-L. Anyway, that was on the bottom. Fame and renown. So, again, lucky. Just like Britney Spears. She's a lucky. She's a star, but she cries with her lonely heart thinking.
Enraged.
Why? Why, my darlings? Okay, so the card that came out was, oh God, why do I have three readings in a row, or the demon aspect? You know, the truth is, we're here to face these demons. That's a part of being here. So it says catastrophe and haste. Visit? Yeah, we're here to visit for a time, to learn certain lessons. In Judeo-Christian belief and like the old teachings, they taught about reincarnation. The modern church does not. Somehow they have erased our history, but there are certain rabbis that to this day teach the tradition of reincarnation, which is written in the canonical texts. So in multiple texts, but again, whoever made that decision to leave a lot of information out, There's clearly an agenda. But anyway, I digress. Catastrophe and haste. So what happens when you're rushing? Does anything good happen when you're rushing? Okay, so let me see the birthdays that this is associated with. So 28. So that's number 10. So there's some sort of ending because of haste. So make haste, right? You were rushing around and then a catastrophe occurred. But then on the bottom it says fame and renown. Interesting. I don't know why I'm picking up that whoever this resonates with is going to, it's almost like an accidental fame. Whether that's like your local celebrity or national or world renowned, but there's going to be something that happens because of rushing. There's some sort of catastrophe, but it leads to fame and renown. I don't know. This sounds like an accident, and it doesn't sound like the fame and renown is some sort of lucky. Interesting. All of these images are popping in my head. Okay. Let's see. Let's get to the card. Okay, so the Duke, Bareth, the demon. He's the 28th spirit. Bareth is a mighty and terrible duke with other names given to him by people of later times. Baal, Bofri, and Bolfry. He appears in the form of a soldier with red clothing and riding on a red horse. Okay. One of the 4 horsemen. Interesting. And he has a crown of gold upon his head. He gives true answers concerning the past, present, and future, and can turn all metals into gold. Bareth. Aggressive. So August 2nd through August the 6th. So this is the demon that would be attached to those. Basically attachment, I mean a servant. The angels that you have around you that are specifically assigned based off of your birth. And then you have the demons as well that are attached based off of like certain days, not months. Like, so astrology doesn't really apply in the way that people like all over the internet are applying astrology. So August 2nd through August the 6th. This is the servant. Again. This is the servant of those born between August 2nd and August 6th. Interesting. Okay. It says he gives true answers concerning the past, present, and future, which I already read. Bareth, who can give dignities, speaks with very clear, subtle voice. Interesting. So this would be somebody that appears on the outside to be very controlled, like a psychopath. This is a psychopath energy. That makes sense. Because those that worship Baal... Again, yeah. Those that worship Baal are like the Islanders, if you know what I'm talking about. Start with the letter E. It's all over the news. I just don't want to say it because, these AI bots on YouTube are gonna be, trying to search for every word being said. So, but you get my drift. Those people quite literally worship him. They have a bank account. He had a bank account named after this demon. This energy that's in your presence. This could be you again. If this is you and all of this applies and you feel like this is this kind of attachment that you can't like fully get rid of. This is a part of why, because when you choose to make poor decisions, you are actually calling upon your servant demon in a sense to act on your behalf. They fuel you and you have to refrain from the temptation. And I think whoever I'm speaking to, or whatever this energy is around you, this person knows how to control their external emotions because they're a psychopath. This is someone who has that narcissistic, cluster B personality disorder type presence. Because on the inside, they could be raging, but on the outside, they don't want. It's masking. It's a form of masking, right? I'm autistic, so I know masking very well. I would be considered high masking. That's why it took so long, I guess, for me to be diagnosed.
I don't understand.
I don't understand. Okay, hold on. He governs 26 legions of spirits, and you must make use of a ring when calling him forth.
Hunger.
Hunger. This is very interesting. There's so many different energies coming forward.
Struggling.
Struggling. Hunger. Oh. Oh no. Struggling, hunger, struggling. This person is genuinely an energy vampire. There's someone that's an energy vampire here. And there's someone who is being used to siphon energy from. So, like, imagine, I'm just going to give the example because it was the song that came up, but like Britney Spears, when, you know, they were like, free Britney, right? I used to say Britney was 13 years a slave because she literally was
Healthy.
Healthy, yeah. She was healthy and they destroyed her. She was groomed, she was abused, she was abused mentally, emotionally, physically. She was medicated, like
Idiot.
abused. Yep. The people that abused her were idiots, and so unfortunately, when you're on that level of lithium, because that's one of the drugs that they had her on, that can cause brain damage. So what you're seeing with her now would not be like psychosis. Maybe she might have episodes, but it would be more of like the damage that was done, the growth that was stunted in her from a very young age. Okay. Something about falling in love, I just saw that. This card just came out. Betrayal, divergence, different values, change of heart. This is someone who takes, like Dracula, he like plans, plots, and really calculates his next victims. This is someone who manipulates people into thinking that their thought process is incorrect. That's a form of gaslighting, where you are convinced by someone else that no, they're correct and you're wrong and these are the reasons. And they make you confused because many times people want to understand others. They want to show empathy and compassion. But when you're showing empathy and compassion, you still also have to be discerning about what someone is saying to you. And this is someone who would take advantage of people that might think differently, because it says divergence on it. And I was just talking about divergence. Someone who is divergent. A psychopath is technically considered neurodivergent because they diverge from the typical neurotype. So really, like... Negative, yeah. Yes, negative. Yeah, it's already negative. Why can't we just get a lucky, happy reading? Jeez. This could be someone's manager, or like, you know, like the Jackson 5 where the dad was... This could be a husband that is someone's business partner or manager. Because there is some kind of fame. Love at first sight, twin flame mirror souls. Act 1, Scene 5. Okay. Interesting. So this is definitely a love. This was a lover. This was a partnership.
Strip.
Strip. You could have met this person at a strip club, or this person took you to a strip club. I'm sorry, ladies, but like when you're young and you're with a guy and he takes you to a strip club or even engages in that, you already know that's a red flag. But young women, when they're just in love or they are love at first sight and they think this is so great, it's not always that great. Trust me, I know from experience. Resisting, face your heart. Do not follow blindly. Yep, you followed blindly with this person and they betrayed you. This person may have created catastrophes in your life. This could be ongoing right now, or this is something that has resolved, but I'm feeling more like that this is ongoing. This person was resisting the connection. And this was an enchanting love. It was really, really hard. There was even marriage on the line. This person was frenetic and wild. There was a masquerade ball, so this could have been some sort of like event, you know, like when you go to like the Renaissance fair and people dress up. It could be like something for Halloween. This could have been something that happened like around Halloween. You could have met this person around Halloween, or there was some sort of event that you went to, because it said a ball, like a party, because that's what this is. This could be how you identify your pairing, your universal pairing. So twin flame is, you know, it's so played out. The name, it just gives the ick because of all of the abusers online that like to use the twin flame concept. That's not even the right twin flame concept. So the universe is made in pairs. And that's where the twin flame concept came from. Because the Elohim are the two gods that made us, because it means two gods. Elohim. So in Genesis, just even talking from a Christian perspective, it talks about how they made us in their image. I said that in the last video, but I just want to say that if you're new and you know you didn't see the last video, but that's really what it is. So for example, Christ, Jesus Christ, was the master.
Strip.
Okay, something about stripping. Someone was a stripper, or this could have been, you could have seen someone strip, like take off their shirt or flash someone, or there could have been some kind of event. Enchanting love. Prodigious birth of love. It is me. It is to me.
Mansion.
That's crazy. I was just talking about a ball though, and look, they're like in a mansion. This is Romeo and Juliet that I'm talking. I mean, using the cards. Wooing, seek, search, encounter, chase. Okay. Crossing the barrier, overcoming obstacles. And dark deal on the bottom. Wrong decision, incorrect direction. So you have encountered somebody where they betrayed you. This was someone that led you on. They made you believe that they liked you, or that they liked you a lot more than maybe they
Foolish.
they foolishly treated you later on. They looked at you as kind of foolish, naive, gullible. This person resisted the relationship. They didn't want to believe what they were hearing or seeing or exactly how it was going. What I'm picking up is this person thought to themselves, it was too good to be true. someone here could be famous, or again, there's going to be some kind of event that occurs where, oh, so this haste and this catastrophe was that two people rushed into a situation, one with the idea that they were genuinely putting forth effort, and the other person was just looking at this as an opportunity, as an option. They weren't looking at you, collective, or again, vice versa, as like the end all be all.
Water.
Water. Water. Drink your water. This person was too eager, or you were too eager. I want to pull one more card from this deck. Oath of the Moon, Vows of Love. So you might time to say goodbye, farewell on the bottom.
Monster.
This person made a lot of promises that they did not keep or they couldn't keep. This person was seeking you, and I think the universe provided. You can hear my family in the background. You were provided by God to them. Like, it would be, imagine someone praying for something, or someone seeking something, someone asking God for a certain type of connection or relationship. And many times, because we have certain lenses of view, perspective, kind of clouding our judgment, we can look at people and think, oh, that's not what I asked for. This person was thinking that things were too good to be true. They thought that it was fake. They might have even, what I'm getting is with like Romeo and Juliet, for example, there was a lot of whispering, right? There are two different types of families, two different kinds of backgrounds. I think that maybe you guys were different enough where people were like, why would you date someone like that? Or why would you entertain someone like that? Or be with someone like that? They're not even your like usual type, is what I'm hearing. Even though you are probably better than their usual type. And I don't mean just in the physical sense. I mean in like personality and like intention. I think energetically you can kind of tell. So I think this person was in denial, and there was some sort of upheaval.
Please stop.
There was a stopping of communication. It was like an abrupt stopping of communication. What do I want to use? Clarify the betrayal. Clarify the betrayal. The world, New Jerusalem, Revelations 21. 21 breaks down to a 3. Clarify love at first sight.
Sleeping.
Sleeping. Empress in reverse, Mary, Mother of Jesus in reverse. So there was a lot of chatter about how you collective, like the feminine energy, was no good for this person. People may have shared this person's past or their opinion, whether it was true or not. And typically when you talk about somebody, that will affect how that person views their interactions. And I also think this person had a change of heart because they thought that you were trying to manipulate them. So when people are not used to other people being genuine, it's hard to really see that okay, you put a pretty face and you think someone's attractive, and maybe other people think that person's attractive.
Come closer.
Yeah, and you just want to get closer and closer. I think that this person wanted to be closer and closer with you, but there's also like your reputation, your image, if any
Enraged.
enraged. Yeah, there was some sort of huge falling out. I'm talking catastrophe. Something about your
Institution.
institution. Yeah, there's something about an institution. There was an established business, some kind of institution that this person was a part of, and their reputation really mattered or matters in whatever they do. Like, for example, here we have fame and renown. If this person was famous, or if both of you are in the public eye in any way, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work.
Idiot.
I know. The thing is, they misjudged you, but they did. There was love at first sight, but they were being told that you were an empress in reverse. You're just there to use people. Or masculine, maybe this is what you were told about a feminine that you had very strong initial feelings for. Whether the feelings got stronger over time, depending on how much
What?
interaction you had. King of Wands, King of Coins. So this masculine works really, really hard. This person, the betrayal is that they genuinely behaved like a cold, heartless psychopath. Someone that just completely detached emotion altogether. I'm feeling like whoever was betrayed here, maybe, yeah, I feel like on the card we have a woman and she looks very upset.
What happened to me? Drip.
Someone likes drip coffee. Someone might like a French press. I love me a French press. I'm also picking up that this person betrayed you partially because they had to disconnect from the reality that they weren't ready. They weren't actually mentally or emotionally ready for what you were offering, or what God was offering, actually, because they asked for it. So this is why they always say be careful what you wish for, because it will literally show up at your door eventually, especially when you're just very positive about it. The King of Wands is resisting. He's under the resistance. The Two of Wands under the wooing. So they had two options. So this King of Wands had two options. And because they were told, they were trying to build their world. We have the Six of Feathers, which would be Ruth, the Moabite, in reverse, under crossing the barriers, overcoming obstacles. Someone wants to come back and face the barrier between you two.
Look.
Oh my god. They want to work on this with you together. Both of the Moon, Vow of Love. Oh. They betrayed you in that they offered you the world and then revoked the offer. Or they didn't tell you something. There was a level of betrayal between you two, and this person wants to... They have been resisting for a long time. This person, you might identify with them as your pairing, like as your genuine match. So you can marry...
Screen.
Screen? They might you might see them on like the TV screen. Like for example, I had a friend in 6th grade, and he had just like arrived to our area. He had just moved. I don't remember where he moved from. I think it was the West Coast. Anyway, so he had just arrived and I became friends with him. He was like one of the first guys that I had a crush on as a kid, that we were actually friends. He was really nice to me, except for when he had to kind of
Scream.
combat like the kids at school being bullies, because they, you know, when girls are jealous, they become bullies. So because he was the most popular kid in school and I was just me, we got along and we were cool and friends, but other people were jealous of the fact that someone as popular as him would supposedly want anything to do
Angel.
with me, with an angel like me. And his name is Finn Whitrock, and I actually tried to stay in touch with him after, and I was too nervous to call him, so I never called him and stayed friends because he was a really nice kid. But he's a famous actor now. You can look him up, Finn Whitrock. Anyway, I don't know why I was telling that story. I think that story was because of, there was a reason why I was telling the story. Let me see. Someone is oh, okay, I get it now. So I told that story to tell the very end where I was with another friend. I had moved to a different area altogether, so I had to go to a different school. He was also moving at the same time, but he was moving out of the state. And at the new school that I went to, I made friends with some of the girls, and I was over at a sleepover.
Examine.
They are in regret for examining this relationship the wrong way. Thank you. I forget what I was saying again. Every time you interrupt me, I mean, I get confused. Okay, anyway. But like I was saying, at the end, the part is that he actually gave me his number. He was friends with the girl that I had just made friends with. The universe was working in my favor.
Move out of my way.
Yeah, move out of my way, ladies. Let me come for my man. That's how it felt. It felt like the universe had just like opened a door so I could literally stay friends with him when he moved to a different state. But I had such a bad crush on him that I couldn't. I didn't have the wherewithal to call him and text him and be friends. He was so damn hot. He still is. Okay. Anyway, I think it's the regret is what I'm trying to get at in this funny ass story. What? Visit? Oh, visit. This person wants to visit. They want to see you again? Okay, clarify the world. Yeah, this God tests Abraham. Two of swords in reverse. This person was initially blocked. They saw things incorrectly in a different way than they see now. So they realized that they failed to recognize you as like a genuine pair.
Unsure.
Yeah, they were unsure. And so I think there's a part of them that still questions it, because how could that be the case? It's really hard for people to believe that God exists, number one, and then number two, that God wants these amazing things for you, but they might not come in the packages in which you have fantasized about. And I think that's what's wrong with our culture today, is we have so many realms of fantasy in the 3D, like in the, well, it's the 5D, but in the physical world, that we don't even know what a blessing is when we see it half of the time. I think that's why there's so much turmoil in the world. If we could all
come closer.
If we could all just say what we want and mean what we say, Life would be so much easier, but we can't do that. We're too complex. Come closer, yeah. Yeah, they resisted this. They pushed you away. They did fail the test. They recognize this now. There's a betrayal. Yeah. Why is the Empress in reverse? The Temperance, Mary and Martha. There was jealousy from another feminine energy that was around this masculine. This is also a representative of the mother. So this could be like an ex-wife, an ex-girlfriend, the mother of their children. This could be their own mother. This could be a sister, a cousin.
Definitely.
Yeah, someone that's really close to them. Because the Empress is the mother, so she's like the mother of the cards. She's the mother, the encompassing, the mother of all mothers. And then Martha and Mary, this is where Martha gets jealous of Mary sitting and learning from Jesus. And she's like, well, why is it that she gets to sit around and do nothing while I have to serve everybody? Someone was jealous that they had to serve. Oh, this could have been a situation where, like, let's say you guys were, remember I said like a party? Let's say you're at a party and here's you and this guy, you know, this handsome gentleman talking, right? You're just chatting it up. And there's this person in the background, deceive, yeah, that was serving you guys. Like, let's say they were serving hors d'oeuvres or drinks or whatever. This could be, let's say this party was at a club. It could be the, you know, the bartender. This could be like an entertainer that was there that evening, something like that. But this person was jealous, so there was something that was either said, amongst other things. I also think that maybe, like I said, this masculine may have had looked at you as an option. And so they weren't taking, as much as they were saying serious things, they weren't taking those things very seriously. Because I think that, unfortunately, living room, you guys might have like hung out in the living room. You know, like when you're just sitting around in a living room and or a family room and you're just chatting it up and talking and hanging out like kids used to do back in the day. And they'd have a party. It was really just everyone smoking and drinking and like just talking. I mean, at least that was the normal intellectual parties that I preferred.
What do I do?
Oh, so when they first saw you, because this is love at first sight, they might have been like confiding in other people, like friends, because that they trusted, right? They're their friends. Why wouldn't they trust them? What do I do? Like, what do I do with this situation? And I think there was, at first it was positive until they started hearing the negative things. And then on top of it, there's this jealous female here as well. Okay, clarify the King of Wands. Clarify the King of Wands. Seven of Feathers, yeah, deception. This masculine was deceptive. Jacob the deceiver. This was just like Jacob.
It was an accident.
So Jacob might have deceived his family, might have deceived his father, and his brother, but Jacob did not deceive Laban. And I just talked about Laban.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. I just talked about Laban in the first video that I just did. Rest in peace. I feel like with the Seven of Swords, they ghosted here. They tricked you. They lied. They deceived. I think this betrayal is that there is some sort of lies that were told. There was some sort of they could have just like used you. That's what they ended up doing. I don't think their intention was to do that, but eventually it just became that. Because this person, the Two of Wands could be a travel card as well, but this person was looking into their future and looking at the different options that they had. They could have looked at you and someone else as options.
Not likely.
Oh, okay. So not that they were looking into the future, but they were looking at the options that they had. and who would be out of the two, right? Because it's two of wands, out of the two. And then we have this two women in reverse. Out of the two, and then we also have Martha and Mary. So it's like the two women keep popping up. Out of the two women, they had to decide who would be best to create the future vision that they had in their mind. And they clearly chose someone else. And a part of this betrayal was there's lies about how that occurred. Like why they finished with you, why they were done with you. And then there's another sort of betrayal here. Because it says different values and change of heart. And then it says thought manipulation. So someone lied about something that they told you.
How many?
How many? Oh, how many lies? Oh. Okay, clarify the Two of Wands. Oh my god. Okay. So the Hanged Man came up in reverse. And this is Peter's crucifixion. And then we have the Devil. This person looked at you as
hungry.
Literally what Spirit just said. This person looked at you as if you were hungry for someone weak. Yeah, you were weak. You were weak-minded. You were weak-spirited. You didn't have, you know what, like that fight to go out and get it, right? That hustle culture is really toxic, unfortunately, even though I fall for it many times, because it tells you that weakness is unacceptable. There is no downtime, there is no rest. Sleeping is bad because if you can't make money while you sleep, like that's so toxic. I feel like this person may have had that sort of perspective because the wrong perspective. The Hanged Man in reverse is the wrong perspective. Or at least for me right now, that's what it's saying.
Lower your voice.
Oh, what? Don't tell me what to do. I'm just kidding. Someone you may have been in a setting where you had to like be quiet, but maybe you talk loudly like I do. Oh. This person may have perceived you as being dull. Not very interesting. Not much going for you. Like just someone, just like a bump on a log kind of feeling. That's what I'm getting right now when Spirit said dull. Okay, clarify the Six of Feathers in reverse. Oh man. The Nine of Coins in reverse.
Next to you.
Five of Candles. So they were conflicted because they saw you as someone who was not independent, because the Nine of Coins is an independent energy. So you are not deemed as independent as, let's say, here's Martha, right? She's independent. She's like serving everybody. She's cleaning up. This person maybe just saw you sitting and resting and not doing very much. Because remember, if we judge other people based off of the season that God has them in, many times we can miss what God has for them later on, or what God is planning for them. And so there's certain like platforms or stages that you have to go through to get to that phase. Each level, right? Each level up, like a video game. And this,
reasonable.
They thought they were being very reasonable with their thought process, and that makes sense. Maybe they wanted somebody that was more stable than you, more independent than you, more of a go-getter than you. I don't know what your personality would be like, but the way I'm feeling it is that I feel like a very romantic personality. Someone who's like a hopeless romantic. Someone who just like really believes in love and is obsessed with it. You know, like people that are obsessed with Disney, like the Disney adults. Okay. Clarify this Four of Swords.
Play.
Play. Ooh, DJ play the love song. How does that go? What's his name? Oh my god, I forget his name. It's a song with one of the America's Next Top Model contestants in the music video. I love the song. What is his name? He's an actor slash comedian slash singer. He's African American. Oh my god, I don't remember his name. But he plays DJ Play That Love Song or something like that. That's the song I'm hearing in my head.
We need.
Yep. Nine of Cups, Feast of Purim. Party. Two of Cups in reverse. Three of Wands. Multiple options. Four of Cups. Now this person has experienced the life that they chose. So, like, I'm seeing the Sliding Doors movie with Gwyneth Paltrow, where, you know, she goes through the door, the sliding doors, and, like, she enters one reality, and then one version of... And then one version of her goes one direction and the other goes another direction. And it shows you, the movie, like, layers the two like versions of her going through different timelines. Leaving, yeah. Leading, and so this person realizes now what leaving you behind really looks like because they lived it. What they don't know is what it would have been like to actually choose you, if that makes sense. And so we can go through life regretting all kinds of things. We'll always regret something, but to look at it from, like, a healthier perspective, just know that whatever was learned from whatever experience was chosen, whatever timeline was chosen, was meant for the betterment of that individual. So even though they betrayed you, there was clearly something that it set you off on your own timeline, right? The timeline that was chosen by this individual. So then you were set off into a different direction. And the lessons that you learned have now molded you to the person you are today. And even if it's a painful place that you're in right now, yeah, even if you are crying, sobbing, you will one day be in a better place.
Witchcraft.
Mentally and emotionally. Yeah. I do feel like warlock witchy vibes. Sorry, there's like, I feel like there's something in my eye. Okay. I feel like this Empress in reverse, this is the person that they chose, and this person is into witchcraft. So a witch is someone who can manipulate energy. They use masking to manipulate like a personality. So autistic people will create like different versions of ourselves that will be around other individuals, like different individuals. We sort of tailor our personality to be around those people. So it's kind of like an individualized relationship where the autistic person is tailoring the relationship around you as a person so that it could be the best relationship, versus like a neurotypical, they're not going to tailor anything around someone else because they are more about self. It's weird. You would think that, yeah, you would think that autistic people were like, you know, they say like, oh, we're in our own world. No, we think more about others than actual neurotypical think about others. That's why we're always in our head, or we're always thinking, and we're always trying to mask to look more like a neurotypical or sound like a neurotypical, behave like one. So that...
Of course.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. I really appreciate you, Spirit. You definitely are neuro affirming. That's basically the kind of coach I'm becoming a neurodivergent affirming coach, including an autism coach. So I can work with different clients, but I'm looking forward to working more with the community. And I'm excited. So yeah. Okay. Four slow, 4 of feathers. Oh, this person. This person is slow. This person has taken forever. Forever and a day. 6 of cups, Jesus and the children. Yep. This is, they are thinking. Oh, they are thinking. 4 of cups. 6 of cups. They're
monster.
Damn. They are thinking of how much of a monster they were and how genuinely innocent you were. I'm not saying you were perfect. Again, this betrayal could partially be your fault as well. I'm just putting that out there. I know from personal experience what it's like for someone to betray me, but at the same time, I betrayed them. Does that make sense? Like, 2 people betraying each other at the same time in the same way. Like, I know what that's like. So I'm trying to speak for, all people here in all experiences. Look. Yeah, they are definitely reminiscing. They are thinking long and hard about the choice that they made, the direction that they went. There's regret here with them. They're sort of sulking. This person's like in a cave. Well, it could be a man cave, right? That's usually like in a basement or an attic. And they feel like the connection they had with you, 6 of Cups, was like Jesus with the children. Unconditionally loving, fully understanding, fully forgiving.
Wondering.
Yeah, they're wondering about you. They're wondering what you're doing. Because it says vows of love, oath of the moon. They're thinking about the things that they said to you under the moonlight. I feel like a lot of you, this image would actually be very relevant. Like you might have been standing outside with this person at one point in your connection. Oh, you might have been leaving together. You were leaving together under the moonlight. Look. Okay. They might be looking you up because on this card wooing it says seek, search, and encounter, chase. Okay. And on the bottom we have 7 of Cups, so the temptation of Christ. So this is when Christ was tempted by the devil for 40 days and 40 nights. And this person knows now what it's like to be tempted away from something that was actually good for them because their perspective wasn't actually aligned with what God had for them at the time. Many times, if we don't understand why God is wanting something for us and we don't want that thing, we don't want to deal with something, then we're going to choose not to.
Idiotic.
Yeah. It's a little idiotic, but aren't humans that way? Aren't we all that way? Okay. I'm going to pull my Italian deck. Nicoletta Siccoli is the artist. And this deck is very whimsical and dark, and it's kind of like a...
You were funny.
Thank you. And it kind of has a, like a Alice in Wonderland vibe. Okay. Where is this masculine now in relation to everything that we've heard at this time? Rapture? Rapture? Oh my gosh. Really? Y'all, you have no idea what I just saw in my head when Spirit said rapture. I saw a man scooping up a woman like he's just like consumption. He consumed her. Way. He consumed her. Oh my god. He's watching her. He's watching you, collective. He's watching the feminine. The masculine is watching a feminine here. See, he's sneaking back over here. And it's, look, Six of Cups. It's soulmate. It's past life. It's a past life, aka a past life, meaning your past. You could literally think about it, you guys. Think about it. Let's be logical and realistic here, okay? Let's be scientific. So every minute that goes by, it becomes the past. So literally when we're saying play, yeah, when they're saying past life, quite literally your life, the past part of your life was the past. It doesn't have to be in like the other world or another timeline or some other dimension. Okay, let's just, come on. Let's focus. Oh, so 10 of, wow. 10 of Cups and 6 of Wands, victory. They see, whoo.
Hot.
Oh, yes, I feel it. I feel it. I started getting flushed. Look at my cheek. I have mast cell disease, so this technically would indicate like an allergic reaction I'm having to something, but I could technically have an allergic reaction to like emotions. Isn't that crazy? So crazy. But yes, so this is hot. They think you're hot. They think that you have all of the qualities and then some, because they see ultimate emotional satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction.
Truck.
6 of Wands. Someone drives a truck. Someone might be a delivery person. Like they drive, they drop off like orders, like supplies, or they pick up and then bring back. So maybe they work for some sort of establishment that, you know, they are required to go and pick up their orders or receive the orders, and they help everything, you know, they pull everything off the back of the truck kind of thing.
Sharon.
Sharon? Okay, someone named Sharon. What else do we have? What is this masculine want from this feminine? Holy moly. Guacamole. Ooh. 8 of Pentacles. They want to work with you. And if you're looking at what I'm looking at, they want to do more than just work with you. Train you. I don't know who's doing that. Just keep it to yourself. Ooh, 5 of Swords. They realized that the victory that they had by walking away, 10 of Pentacles, was
Aroused.
I was literally about to say that. So they realized that, so this person, I feel like, has kink involved in their life in some way, and this person likes to be roughed around is all I'm getting. And they might be the one that likes to be trained for some of you here, but there's this feeling of like it was an empty victory in the past, because deep down inside they knew that they were walking away or letting go of something that was actually very meaningful to them and special. You know, it's hard when you just meet somebody and it's, you know, it's intense, and then you have to be logical, right, in life. And I think this person uses logic over a leaps of faith. They used reason. They used, you know,
He can't stay.
Yeah, he couldn't stay at the time. 9 of Pentacles. The Fool. Yep. This person is very independent. They are not someone who just sits still or quiet. This isn't someone who lives a life that is...
It's bright.
Yeah, he's got a bright ass life. Excuse my language. This person is a really bright life. They're like a beaming sun, kind of, the way I can describe it. But this person knew, like, see how it's like the garden, Adam and Eve in a sense? This is something that they rejected, but this was what they were looking for, but they rejected what God said, hey, this is actually what, like, you seek. But they thought that they thought God was giving them multiple options when God was really just showing them the differences between the options, but they misread the options. But they have they're aroused by you. Ooh. This is movement forward. They want to come towards you. They want to yep, temperance. Yeah, they want to balance things out. The Two of Swords again. They want to, and the Seven of Swords. So the only thing blocking them right now from coming forward is that they're like sneaking. They're sneaking to watch you. Two of Cups and the Three of Swords. Because they know they hurt you really badly, but they also see you as wish fulfillment. This is like, there's a lot of arousal, like as Spirit said. There's a lot of lust here. This person wants something real. Like, in the flesh. Not on the phone, not on a computer. This is... Okay, what is the masculine going to do towards the feminine in, I would say, the next 3 months? Okay, Hanged Man. What is the masculine going to do in the next 3 months towards the feminine?
Console.
Console? Who are they consoling? Who are they consoling? Six of Cups. That is very naughty. I just picked up the word suspend. Okay. Ten of Wands. So this is what's coming forward. Okay. So because things have been on pause for so long, right? This person has their own life, completely different life than when you met them, vice versa. This is what's holding them back. They are watching you though. They are monitoring you. They have their eye on you. Deceived. But they deceived you. And this is what burdens them, and this is what holds them back. But what's in the middle of this burdensome energy is the fact that they really, really believe that you are the person that they're supposed to, like, build a foundation with, a life, an empire, a business. Three of Wands. It's like the universe left like breadcrumbs for them to find you. It's like, you know, the signs and symbols of the universe. They're going to write you. There's going to be some sort of communication. They're writing down their thoughts. They're trying to figure out... Their thoughts are jumbled because in this card, it's like someone writing a million letters. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to start the conversation. So they literally are writing, delete.
Deceive.
Writing, yeah. Because all they can think about is how they deceived you. Thank you for...
Leave it.
Leave it? There's like a voice in there, just leave it alone. Just let it go. They go back and forward in their head like, leave it alone, let it go. No, but I know this, but leave it alone, let it go. Yep. Nine of Wands, they're watching you. You're very protective with your circle, your energy. They also pulled their love back from you for financial reasons. Because again, if you didn't have very much to offer, or at least they thought that way about you, then, you know, that's an aspect here. Yeah, they want to communicate. Even if it's like a small offer, there's going to be some sort of communication. This person's also dreaming about you a lot.
Cheryl.
Cheryl? And they don't know what. Like, they know there's like a significance here, but it's kind of scary to them. 3 of Cups. And the Lovers. But maybe there's a third party. Maybe this person that they chose over you, they're still in connection with them or in a relationship with this person. Or they have some sort of ties with this person. The Sun. So the Sun also represents children, so they may have children with this person. And
I'm stuck.
yeah, this person's stuck, and 5 of Cups. They're very sad because they feel stuck. We have the King of Wands. Again, we have the King of Wands, and then we have the 5 of Wands. There's a lot of conflict. They're fighting a lot with this other person, this Empress in reverse.
Shopkeeper.
Shopkeeper, they must own a business together, or there's something that they do. They run some sort of storefront. They sell something. They do marketing and sales. High Priestess. They're also not sure how to approach because I would.
You don't understand.
Oh, they're worried that when they write you that you're not going to understand because of how intuitive you are. They're worried that you won't understand where they're coming from and why they made the decisions that they made. 9 of Swords because they're scared. And at night they're like worried. Like, what do I say? How do I apologize? King of Pentacles energy in the Moon. They're pretty certain that the Moon energy, like, there's nothing that you can hide. Like, they can't hide anything from you kind of feeling. That would give someone anxiety, right? Okay, last message about what this masculine plans on doing. I will grab my Klimt deck. Last message is 4 of Cups. They're just gonna sulk a little bit.
Sacrifice.
They want to sacrifice something to come towards you, but right now they're 9 of Cups in reverse. Now they're unfortunately stuck in not wish fulfillment. They are not in an environment where they're in love, happy. It's not dreamy. Where they ended up is not a dreamy situation. 4 of Cups is a limited amount of emotions. They're very emotionally depleted is what I'm picking up with whatever person they're with right now or whatever relationship they've been in. It's not, 7 of Swords, there's a lot of deception. 5 of Pentacles in reverse, there's a lot of, not good.
48.
48. Okay. So the number 12 might be significant. The number 3, 10 of Swords in reverse. They want to come out of this pain. 9 of Pentacles in reverse. They are struggling right now to be independent from this other person. So
Shopkeeper.
Shopkeeper. If they sell something or they are they're having trouble being independent. 6 of Wands in reverse. There isn't victory right now because of this tie to children or to a relationship. What do they plan on doing towards the feminine here? Any last messages? 4 of Swords. They in reverse, they want to come out of not communicating with you and they finally want to communicate. So I feel like they will.
I'm scared.
Yeah, this person's really scared to communicate with you. They're really, really afraid. Yep. Knight of Swords, they have a lot on their mind. They're going to bring forward this this good news is what we'll call it. We'll call the Knight of Swords good news. 3 of Swords. I think they do want to apologize and acknowledge the hurt. I think they want to acknowledge the betrayal because they know at this point for you guys to reconnect in any way, there would need to be some sort of acknowledgement of the pain that they caused. Like their part, right? Everyone's part in it. I just think that this person really came off very narcissistic and very cold, as if they had no emotions for you whatsoever. Queen of Swords.
Hide now.
Hide now, yeah. 3 of Wands. This masculine is worried that you're going to, like, off with his head. You know, like the Queen of Hearts and Alice in Wonderland. Off with their heads. They're also worried that because you're so intuitive and you know that you already know, they want to lay the burdens down here and just come forward because they know they feel this with you, the Six of Cups, this friendship. You know, when you just, Four of Wands, they know this happy home would be with you.
We command it.
God commands it. Holy Spirit. Never blasphemize the Holy Spirit. Just don't do it. That's the most unforgivable sin. Even the Bible tells you that. Nine of Swords in reverse. They're going to come out of being in their head about this. Five of Wands. They're conflicted, but they will eventually come out of their head because, again, Six of Cups. Yeah, the burdens are going to lay the burdens down and apologize because they see this Four of Wands with you. And they see this Two of Cups. And what's hiding is that this has been a secret for a really long time, that they have these feelings for you, that they see you in this way. And it's very painful. Five of Cups, it was a great loss. And they want to undo the betrayal and the deception, and they want to be honest. And they think,
Dark.
yeah, they're going through like a very dark awakening, is what we'll call this, an awakening. Person's going through a very dark awakening. But they see you as like a star. Again, you might be famous, or there's something that's going to happen that catapults you into fame. This person might be well known or famous, a local celebrity or international, global, whatever.
Thankful.
This person, if you guys reconnect, they're going to be very thankful for you because of, okay, you are going to catapult this person's career and vice versa. Your energy is dangerous. Both of you have a very dangerous energy.
Understand.
Yeah. You guys understand each other in a way that others don't, so you can execute. Like if you have, like, let's say you guys come up with a business plan, you will not only execute it, you will make it happen and it will be successful. Do you know why?
Absolutely not.
What do you mean? Do you know why? Absolutely not. Oh, the Emperor, the Knight of Wands, the Magician. This person, you're gonna have a lot of, okay, so the Resistance card is here. You're gonna have a lot of resistance at first. Like it's going to...
I'm stuck.
Yeah, see, resistance. There's this feeling of resistance where you might resist at first. So you're not just gonna be like, oh, come into my arms, welcome home. Like it's not gonna be that kind of like welcoming, home type experience. It's gonna take some time to loosen up the leather, right? Like some leather is new, leather jackets are new, it's stiffer, you gotta work it in. It's gonna be one of those types of situations. There will be wooing, something about a brewery. Ace of Cups. Yep. You guys are going to talk about this deception. Yep. They're going to come forward with an offer. They're going to speak and be clear about what exactly happened. They're finally going to think of the right things to say. The Star. And the Ten of Cups, because they see the Ten of Cups
in another place.
Yep. The Lovers, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ten of Cups. You also have the Ace of Cups out here and the Ace of Pentacles. This is a relationship, but be careful. Be careful with, I would say, substances. So this person may have issues with substances, but be careful. This is like a happy be careful. Just be careful.
Protect.
Yeah, as protection. So this is like very lustful energy. If you don't want to get pregnant, you don't want to have any more children, don't, you know. Be careful. But if this is not like a part of your lifestyle, or let's say you can't have any more children, for example, this is just a lot of lust. Be mindful, be careful that this Ace of Pentacles isn't why the person is like going so hard after you. But I don't get the feeling that that's what's happening here. I really feel like this.
Shopkeeper.
I feel like this is going to almost feel like sinful. Like you're getting you're getting money, and you're also getting like a wild romantic experience. Like, let's just say this is like going to Jurassic Park. You going for a ride?
I'm
honey?
weak.
Yeah. Ooh. Y'all are gonna be weak. Y'all gonna be weak. All right. If you'd please like, share, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. And I will see you next time.